All right, welcome everybody. Good to have you all in here for this edition of Speaking of Zane, where we seek to keep his memory alive by speaking his name and all kinds of other stuff that we navigate through. But the primary mission is really to be sure he's not forgotten. We couldn't bear that. But there are many others like him. And part of what we do here, hopefully, is just to raise a little bit of awareness about that. And we do a lot of other things, military, veteran related here, and looking for more and more content all the time. Always open to you all sharing things with me, um, volunteering to be a guest, anything like that. Wide open to you all joining in and contributing. Um, it does become I do sometimes grasp a little bit with content, trying to figure out what's relevant, what's pertinent. So I would love to hear everyone's ideas about how to make this an even better forum that we have. But good to have you all in here. Lori is in here tonight. She's not in the house right now. More about that in a minute. Ken is in here. Peggy and Carl are in here from Warsaw, Missouri. Jimbo Miller's in here. Daryl's in here. Daryl made it home from church. Daryl had some church business to do after the normal worship service. Glad you made it home in time. Aunt Mary's in there down in Ocilla, Georgia, a couple 100 miles from here. But good to have you all in here for the June 9th edition of Speaking of Zane. It's the 283rd week that we have done this. We've missed some weeks, so you can imagine that. We went for a long time without missing a Sunday, but boy, travel and illness and holidays and all kind of things get in the way of life. And but we got a pretty good record of doing Speaking of Zane weekly. In fact, we've done it for 283 weeks. Wow, incredible. But if you guys weren't here, it would be me talking into the void. So thank you all for that. Thank you for contributing. Thank you all for letting me know that you met fellow veterans, you met first responders, you gave a hearty thank you or appreciate you, or you visited the hallowed grounds of a veteran cemetery and you share that with the group, or you have military history items that you want to call out. You guys are absolute contributors to what we do here on Speaking of Zane. Okay, well, let's see. Lori, so I went out of town this week, and I don't always do the best job of coordinating with what the heck is going on around here, but Lori has been trying to get some surgery done. And if you guys know anything about doctors and hospitals, the scheduling is a nightmare and you have to go so far out and it's availability and this, that, and the other. Well, Lori was able to get a spot for this surgery she needed on Thursday, which was, I believe, the 6th. And I was flying back from Las Vegas as she was having the surgery. And now I did volunteer to come back early, but she said, nope, stay, because Wednesday night at this conference I was at, Wednesday night, this Wednesday night celebration was a concert by Elton John. How about that? Anybody seen Elton John before? I never had. Of course, he was on the top of the charts when we were all kids. But anyway, so Lori said, nope. And my daughter Hannah's been absolutely fantastic in getting Lori there, looking after her, checking in on her, all of that stuff. So she's in the hospital. She had her surgery, which the doctors say was successful, some abdominal surgery. And unfortunately, you know, with surgeries come all these complications, and they watch this, they watch that. Well, they've been watching everything, obviously. Even though surgery was successful, they didn't feel like she's ready to come home, all of this. Anyway, so she's still at the hospital. Thought she might come home Saturday. No. Thought she might come home today. No. So she's still there now, and she's watching Speaking of Zane. We're hoping that the doctors, she's in a good enough position where she can come home here over the next day or so. But she did have me put that message out on Facebook to let everybody know that she's getting your messages and your text messages and all that. She just hasn't been in a position to respond to everything. So she thought it would be good for me just to blast something out there to let everybody know she's okay. But so we're not sure yet when she's coming home. I'm hoping it's tomorrow. I'm supposed to go out of town again on Wednesday evening. Of course, if I can't, I'll cancel that. But I'm just going to St. Louis. We'll see how that goes. You guys know I go to St. Louis a lot, but this time I'm going for a veteran-related activity. They've asked me to be on a podcast, and we have a podcast studio there at our headquarters. So they want to do the podcast in person, and it's Friday afternoon. So that's why I'm going. But I took the opportunity of being there to invite my team to come. So I've got one of my team members from Phoenix is coming in, one from Tampa's coming in, and then I have another one of my team that lives there. And so we're going to get an opportunity to be together and do some planning and stuff. And we have a brand new cohort, a brand new class of young professionals. You guys know I run an academy. I'm like the principal, I guess, of a school. And we've got a new group of 28 young individuals that are coming on board that we are in charge of their professional development for the next 18 to 24 months. And I'm excited about it. They come from all over the country. We settled on 28 of them out of a group of 500 or so that were interested. So pretty competitive, pretty selective, but I think we got a good group. But I'm not going to have to do it all myself this time. I've got someone like me who I just hired that's in Phoenix, who's been around a while and knows the game, both on the engineering side and the sales side. And then I have a professional educator, a school teacher that's going to work with him. They'll shepherd this next group through, and I can do some higher level planning and orchestration and evangelizing and all that fun stuff. But anyway, so that's why I'm going to St. Louis this week, but I won't go if Lori needs me here. So we'll see how things develop there. But you can see she's posting. She must be coherent because she's posting there in the chat. So, and our daughter Hannah, who is a caregiver by nature, has done a fantastic job. She took her little boy Everett over there to see Grammy today. I know that was a surprise, so that's good. And then I played babysitter yesterday. I had the little 4-year-old granddaughter. Oh my God, that girl is a mile a minute. You cannot turn your back. It's nonstop. And so you got to be on your game when there's a 4-year-old in the house. Holy smoke. But anyway, so she was here from in the morning yesterday to the morning today. And oh my goodness, I took her to the grocery store with me. I stopped her halfway through. I said, listen, little girl, we are never doing this again. Oh my goodness. But she was good. And her parents, thank God, came and got her this morning. But they went out to a concert last night. So she stayed here with me. But normally Grammy's here. Normally I'm on the periphery, but I had the whole ball of wax this time. Yeah, Carl, she said, I said, what do you want? What do you want for dinner? Pizza. Well, what kind of pizza do you eat? Pepperoni. Insisted. I said, are you sure you don't eat ham? You don't eat mushroom? You don't eat pepper? No, granddaddy, pepperoni pizza. So the pizza gets here. I get her a couple pieces of pizza on her plate. What does she do? She systematically takes all the pepperoni off the pizza and eats the pizza. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's the way I do it, granddaddy. So anyway, fortunately, I'm a carnivore. I ate all the pepperoni. But anyway, but she would not, she didn't want a cheese pizza. Oh God, I was never so happy to see her parents this morning, but she does a better job of following her Grammy's guidelines. Her Grammy has a way, but with Granddad, it's not exactly the same. But anyway, so that's what I was doing all day yesterday, and as soon as she went home today, I was able to do all the yard work, wash the truck, mow, weed eat, laundry, clean the kitchen, had a Sunday roast, all that stuff that I could not do with a 4-year-old girl running around here. That's for sure. But anyway, I love her to death. But what I was going to say is we had a couple video calls with Grammy, so that was good. But there's my cousin Toby in there. Hey, Toby. All right. Yes, they can, Daryl. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. So yeah, so that's my travel. I had a good week. When you're in tech and there's a lot of conferences, probably in every industry. I just happen to be in tech for the last 30 some years, but to be able to have a conference with thousands of people, there's you can't just do it anywhere. And there are some cities that are very well equipped to do that, accommodate 10,000 people, both meeting space and rooms and all that stuff. And Vegas happens to be one of them. And I cannot count how many times I've been to Vegas now for conferences, but that's where this one was this past week. I hadn't been there since before COVID, but it was hot. Now, our friend Roy Cupper, who's often joins us here, he lives there. It was 109 when I left went to the airport at 9 in the morning. I think it was 109. But fortunately on the Strip, there's walkways between most of the hotels. You can walk and you can stay indoors most of the way from the Mandalay Bay through the Luxor, through the Excalibur to New York, and then over to MGM Grand. But anyway, I did get some afternoon walks in. I got a lot of walking in. I stayed in Excalibur and walked over to Mandalay. But anyways, it was a good visit. I was there for veteran-related information. Normally I go because I'm a techie, and I've always gone to this one. This is Cisco Systems. It's called Cisco Live. And I've always gone as part of my job. And this time I didn't go for that reason. I went because they asked me to come. Cisco did. And we had our very first ever joint Cisco Worldwide Technology Veterans Social Hour. We're breaking ground. We're blazing trails, as they say. And just a lot of great conversation, nice social hour we had, and we got a lot of our vets and a lot of their vets, and building networks, and we're talking about what the kind of things we can do for our mutual veterans employee communities and all that stuff. That's kind of what Speaking of Zane's all about, is make sure we look after each other, and that's kind of the way we feel at our two companies. And it was great. I got a chance to meet my peers at Cisco that are in their veterans community, and it was really good. I gave out a lot of had a bunch of challenge coins made, and gave out a lot of challenge coins to Cisco veterans and WWT veterans, and it was a resounding success. I just wrote a nice little after action report for our HR leader and some others, but it was very good. It was well worth the trip. So good stuff. Always enjoy that one. Next year's in San Diego, so maybe I'll figure out a way to go again. I used to go just about every year, but my job's changed. I do some different things, and everybody can't go. But San Diego is one of my all-time favorite places. Lori went with me out there once for when we had in San Diego. But San Diego, Las Vegas, San Francisco, LA have venues that are suitable for those kind of numbers. But anyway, the concert, the Elton John concert, was, just to give you an idea of the size, the number of people, was inside Allegiant Stadium. That's where the Las Vegas Raiders now play. But it was a packed house. But anyway, enough about that. All right. Well, speaking of sports, the Braves are not doing so good, Toby. I'll tell you what. I thought they have an outstanding record against the Washington Nationals, but it looks like they dropped the last two to them. And the Braves are 9 games behind the Phillies. That's not a great place to be, for sure. It sucks that I can't watch them. Toby, do you watch them? Are you able to watch them? We have Comcast, Xfinity, and they're having a fight with Bally Sports, and they're not carrying them anymore. And anyway, I got to figure something out eventually if I could ever be home long enough. I've been gone every week for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and so you get a little bit off your schedule there. But all right, well, how about the hat of the week? Hat of the week. Hat of the week. Hat of the week always has something to do with what the heck is going on around here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. And this week I pulled out one of my old Cisco hats. Now, I used to work for this company. I worked 9 years for this company. I love them to death, and still work very closely with many of them. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that work there, and we happen to be their #1 ecosystem partner. So anyway, I got a lot I got a lot of Cisco swag, but it is the hat of the week because of everything I just talked about with our veterans organizations between our two companies. Many of you probably have Cisco stock in your portfolio. It's a bellwether tech company. All right. Well, I did not, because of all those things I said I was doing today, washing the car, doing the yard, doing the laundry. I did not get around to pulling any this week in military history items, but we all know that this past week was the 80th anniversary of D-Day. So hopefully you all paused for a minute and thought about exactly what those men did, what they were getting into. And 4,000 of them or so died right there during the invasion. And most of them are still buried there. But just can you imagine, it's just, I mean, can you imagine, it's basically a coin toss whether you're going to survive or not, but you do it anyway. Oh, and you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Just we absolutely owe a debt of gratitude. It was a different time. It was a different warfare, all of that I understand. But, you can make the case for what people say about that being the greatest generation, not only them being the greatest generation, but saving the world. I mean, if Hitler had been unchecked, who knows, what might have happened there. But it's a monumental anniversary there, and just a handful of that generation is still alive, and most of them are 100 or greater now. 99, 98, 99, it's the 80th anniversary, which was 44. So if they were 17 or 18 and 44, right, they're still less than 100, but many of them were 17, 18, 19, and in 41, 42, 43. But anyway, just an incredible anniversary for sure. Okay, well, let's see. Speaking of cemeteries, Normandy has an American cemetery there. How about our cemetery challenge? Let me tell you what I think I know about our visits this week. Daryl, you got to tell me. Now, I can always count that Daryl has been to Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery at least once during the week, but sometimes he sneaks another visit in there. So Daryl, let me know. Okay, Lori, good night. She's probably been called away for some tests or something, or maybe she's just flat tired, but we will talk to you later, Lori. So Daryl, tell me in the chat how many visits you made there. He's counting my dad for a couple, and my sis, and Jim Miller. So Jim, you get a chance. I think there's my dad. Hey, Dad. Jim, I think it's true that you made 2 visits to St. John's and 2 to Omaha National this week, if my my tracking is accurate. So that would mean 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that puts us at 1,198 visits since we started tracking. That's a lot of visits to really what is, I mean, when I walk onto a veteran cemetery, I'm just overwhelmed. I don't know. I tell me how you guys feel. I feel this presence. I have a sense of reverence and gratitude, and it's just I guess hallowed ground is the word, right? It's just dirt, it's just grass, but it's more than that because of who resides there, and that's the way I feel about them. And I had hoped to make a visit there today. I did not get around to it, to Georgia National Cemetery, but we'll look at next weekend. All right. Well, how about you guys do such a great job of letting me know when you come across a fellow veteran or a law enforcement officer or a service member, and some of you do a fantastic job of chronicling your interactions, which is really awesome. I love reading those. It's incredible. And go ahead and put in the chat if I missed any of these. Let me tell you what I think I know about this week's Think of That challenge. Daryl came across an Army vet called Richard, had a nice little interaction with him there. Jimbo had the gate guard. Jimbo had an Army veteran that he interacted with, and an Air Force veteran. And Jim also had a nice chronicled a nice couple of nice interactions there on the Facebook page. Always enjoy reading those. So if I missed anybody's there, let me know and I'll add them. Let me tell you what I did. Now I was at this event this week specifically for veterans, so it's no surprise that I had a lot of veteran interaction. So I had, I'll tell you the ones that I remember by name. Eric is a Marine officer, continues to be a Marine Corps Reserve officer, works for Cisco. He's actually he's got a podcast he does. He's going to interview me on an upcoming podcast. I'll be sure, if it's good, I'll be sure to share it with you. I mean, it's good, but I mean, if I'm good, I'll share that with you guys once we've done it. We don't have a date yet, but he does a great job. He's got 5 or 6 of those under his belt since they started. And then I met Justin, who's an Army vet. Justin happened to serve in the 3rd ID and remembers the Savannah area very well. And then met another Army vet, Omar, another Army vet, John. John King was an Army warrant officer. Sheldon, Army. Mark. I saw Mark. Mark's an Air Force vet. Mark and I go back about 25 years. He's still at Cisco. Calvin, who was one of my students here, he's a retired Army warrant officer. Dave, who was Army. Eric, who was in the Air Force and was stationed at Offutt Air Force Base. I also met an Air Force vet from the late 50s, early 60s at the airport in Las Vegas and had a chat with him. And then I'm counting about 10 others at this gathering that we had. So, and then I had the last one is an Air Force, retired Air Force vet called Chris. More about Chris in a minute. But so I had 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 I had this week. That's a high for me. That may not be a high for me, but it's up there. So if I add that to Jim's and Daryl's, and I'm going to add my dad had, let's see if I can find Dad on the list. Dad had Air Force, and Carl. Yep, got a space for Carl. Carl here. Okay, Carl had Air Force. So I'll add 2 more. Give you the grand total here. That was 28 for the week. If I add those 2, 28 thank yous for the week. That's right up there. And that takes our total, since we started doing this, to 2,830. 2,830, getting ever so close to 3,000. We'll have to change our sign up there that Lori had made from 2,000. Right now it's we updated it. Yeah, it was started out 1,000. We updated it to 2,000, and now we'll have to take it to 3. All right, Carl's talking about Mildenhall there. Did you see? I didn't verify this anywhere, but I saw it in multiple places about a pub there right outside the base that's very near and dear to many of us called the Bird in Hand. I saw the Bird in Hand. It sounds like it's not only closing after almost 100 years in existence, but they may be tearing it down. Wow, how about that? But Lori and I were just there back in December. But yeah, that'd be sad. Many an airman has made their way through the Bird in Hand, either in the pub or in the hotel part. But a rich legacy there at the Bird in Hand. First pub I ever visited when I got there. But right there walking, walking distance to everything. But anyway, so that's it for the Thank a Vet Challenge. Let's move along to organization. So we do have the Running to Honor 5K coming up next month, the end of July. If anybody wants to virtually run for the Running to Honor 5K, just Google Running to Honor, I think, and you can find the website there. Some of you I know are already registered, but I think it's the last day of July. It's going to be hot here, but I'm going to be in England, so I'll be running. I may not run. I've been running more and more lately, but I'll certainly walk the Running to Honor 5K. Something interesting about the Running to Honor, I haven't mentioned this in a little while, but Aaron Bartle, who's also an Army vet who founded the Running to Honor for the purpose of honoring those fallen, has been so nice over the years to include Zane as one of those they honor. And he's even taken that a step further now and is going to be dedicating the entire run to Zane in 2026. So it'll be the 10-year anniversary of Zane's passing. 2026. So Lori and I will go to Michigan and we'll do the Running to Honor 5K in person in honor of Zane. Wow, he didn't have to do that. What is he thinking? But what an honor. What an absolute honor. So Aaron often joins us here, watches the recording if he can't make it. So Aaron, thank you again, as always. Okay, how about my Warriors place? So I mentioned I met a retired Air Force guy called Chris. Chris lives about 10 miles from my Warriors place. He retired from the Air Force. He works for a contractor, works on the base there. He's an IT guy. So he knows all the same stuff I know, more than I know. But he Kelly offered his IT services to Kelly. So she says, well, you need to get a hold of Guy. And finally we did. And we spent about an hour together after work on Friday, virtually we did, used a video call, WebEx. And I shared with him everything we've got going down there, all the topology of the network, gave him an account on the wireless network so he can get in and monitor like I do, all of that, got him up to speed. And so now if we have any trouble out there, there's more than just me watching it, and then he can actually run out there if he needs to. So, wow, it was so great to have him so close and so knowledgeable. And that's going to be a big help to me, and to Kelly, mostly to my Warriors place, but having him there. So that was Chris. Yeah, what a great guy. So I look forward to meeting him face to face next time I get a chance to run down to my Warriors place. A visit to my Warriors place is long overdue. I cannot wait to get down there. I miss it, but we will get down there for too long. I don't know when. I got a little bit of a gap in travel until I go to London for a couple of weeks at the end of July. So I know it's blazing hot down there right now, but I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 weeks in there where at least I don't have any travel plans. So we'll see. But by the way, if any of you ever feel like you need to get away and you want to go to Florida, you just got to get there. And Kelly will welcome you with open arms. Of course, there has to be availability and everything, but there's plenty of little cottages there, and you will really enjoy it. So if anybody's thinking about going to the Tampa area, I do it. Highly recommend. You can stay at my Warriors place at least for some of your trip, maybe the whole trip, depending on what she has available there. But let me know that, and I'd like to personally introduce you to Kelly and help make those arrangements. Okay, I think that's about all I've got tonight there. Well, no, that's not true, because remember, we've gone for quite a number of weeks without having any heroes lost or wounded. We've had some incidents here and there, but there have been a few incidences over the last couple of weeks, and I think it's worth calling out here. So let me pull up the first one. A 23-year-old first lieutenant called Zachary Galley from Virginia died last Saturday during training at Fort Johnson, Louisiana. Fort Johnson, Louisiana. Is Fort Johnson, is that one of those that was renamed? Was it maybe Fort Polk and now it's Fort Johnson? I don't know. I know Benning and Bragg have been renamed, but anyway, so unfortunately that First Lieutenant Galley died during a training exercise down there a couple weeks ago. And then I think I have a picture here. No, I don't. There was a Marine corporal, Noah Huff is his name, and Noah Huff was struck and killed by a train in Iwakuni, Dad. We were just talking about Iwakuni last week, talking about the train last week. I don't know what train, but this was back on May the 11th, that Corporal Noah Huff was struck and killed by a train there in Iwakuni. Tragic. And then there was see, I already got that one. An Army PFC, Katia Aguilar was 23. She was found dead on May the 18th in her residence in Clarksville, Tennessee. Now, since that was first announced, they've, I think, declared that a homicide. Terrible. Army PFC in Tennessee. Sad. All right, folks. Well, I think that is it for this edition of Speaking of Zane. I'll tell you what, if you're out and about and you see a veteran, a service member, a first responder, they are worthy of someone telling them thank you. That's for sure. They don't hear it enough. It's an awkward thing for them to hear. It's an awkward thing for us to hear. But I think I'd rather err on the side of being awkward in order to thank somebody for writing that blank check, right? As we see from these incidences, it's not just combat that's hazardous, it's training for it that can be hazardous. And they don't have to do it. It's a volunteer force, and people choose to serve this country, and they're willing to die for it. They're worthy of a simple thank you, and you guys do such a great job of that. Polk, yeah, I got it right there, Q. Polk is now Johnson. Okay. All right. Well, hey, have a fantastic week. Say a prayer for Lori as she recovers. Any kind of surgery, evidently. I mean, you guys know this. If you've been through a surgery, it's oftentimes just the recovery from the trauma of the surgery than it is the thing they were fixing and the recovery and everything. But she seems to be in good spirits, and I hope to get over there and see her tomorrow. I've got Everett during the day tomorrow. He's going to hang out with Granddad while I'm working, but we'll get over there, and hopefully it's getting over there to pick her up. But we will let you guys know. Watch the Facebook there when you get her springed from the hospital. But have a great week. We'll look forward to seeing everybody again next Sunday night for what will be the 284th week of Speaking of Zane. Be good. Have a great week, everybody. Appreciate every one of you. Thanks.